Greetings, royal queens and kings. It's your host, Queen Tulsa, and we are back for what? Coffee Talk. I'm so excited that we are here today. And as you all know, I've been battling like my allergies. So I made it a point to just come here today just for you. Happy birthday to all of our September birthdays. Listen here, we have a great show lined up for you today. I'm so excited. So you already know. Let's go ahead and head into Queen City. All right, greetings. I am so excited to be back right here live and in person with all of you royals. Before we even get into the first topic of the day, today is September the 3rd. The current time is 10:14 a.m. Central Time. Here's our daily prayer. Crossroads. Stand where the roads cross and look. Ask where the old way is, where the good way is, and walk on it. If you do, you will find rest for yourselves. Jeremiah 6:16. Father in heaven, I stand on the crossroads every day. I look around and I remember my old self, the one who denied you and didn't recognize the reality of sin. I think back on those things and wince at my stubbornness and my arrogance. Every morning, you give me a new sunrise so I can stand once more and make a choice about how I will live the day. Will I choose the good way and walk in it? Or will I fall back into my old habits and patterns and miss out on all the blessings you had planned? I am in your hands. Bless everyone who begins the day with the realization they must choose you with each morning sunrise. With each action they take, help us anticipate those choices with gladness and hope. Let us find rest for our weary hearts and minds. Amen. Amen. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into this topic. In this exciting episode, Queen Tulsa Coffee Talk makes her highly anticipated return, bringing you the latest hot topics, trending discussions, and celebrity news. Join her as she dives into the most talked about stories and shares her unique insights. Don't forget to support her journey by purchasing your very own Queen Tulsa merchandise at the link provided. Your support for this independent Black owned media personality is invaluable as she continues to deliver the piping hot tea. Okay, so let's get into it. So today is the anniversary of Miss Reese Taylor. Miss Reese Taylor was raped on September the 3rd, 1944, by six white men. Taylor's refusal to remain silent after her rape brought attention to SA of Black women in the Jim Crow South. Taylor, born on December 31st, 1919, was a sharecropper who grew up in Abbeville, Alabama. To keep BHU alive, please consider donating or purchasing our digital product, Black History Facts You Probably Didn't Learn in School. So make sure you follow Black History Unlocked. Okay. So it says on September 3rd, 1944, Taylor was walking home from Rock Hill Holiness Church with a friend and her son. During the 2 mile walk, the pair was stopped by men in a green Chevrolet truck. The men forced Taylor and a friend was forced into the car at Tauwk, blindfolded, and drove her to the middle of a forest where each raped her. After the rape, they brought Taylor to the edge of town, left her there. After her father found her, the women both went to 3 Points Police Station where Taylor told Sheriff George H. Gamble what happened. After describing the car, the sheriff was able to locate its owner, Hugo Wilson. Wilson was taken into the sheriff's office, and Taylor identified him as one of her attackers. Wilson named the other men involved. However, Wilson said there had been no rape because they paid Taylor for the act. Wilson was never arrested. To intimidate Taylor, her house was firebombed, forcing her family to move in with her father and siblings. The rape left Taylor unable to have additional children. She and her husband eventually separated in the 1960s. Shortly before his unalivement, Taylor continued sharecropping in Abbeville until she moved to Florida in 1965. Her only child, Joyce, unalived in a car accident in 1967. Although Taylor failed to get justice in 1944 and 1945, her courage in speaking out against her rape encouraged other Black women who had been SA'd to report the incidents, and her actions helped inspire others in Alabama and across the South to speak out against racial discrimination. In 2011, the Alabama legislature passed a resolution giving Taylor an official apology. Taylor unalived on December 28th, 2017 in Abbeville, Alabama at the age of 97. Black History Unlocked mission is to inform the world of history that most people didn't learn in school. To support BHU, please consider buying our digital PDF, Black History Facts You Probably Didn't Learn in School, or donating. So I'll go ahead and keep this up for a second so you guys can screenshot. Okay. So let me go ahead and check the comments and see what you all are saying. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Let me know in the comments. So, okay, so pretty much with that, it's really heartbreaking to me because when you talk about getting justice and talking about back in those days, right? Justice feels real good when you're able to get it. Justice feels real good when you're able to get it, right? But just think about individuals out there that are holding this in on a daily basis, you know? This is like trauma that they have to keep in their hand, keep in their head, and still continue out through life, right? Let's go ahead and move on over to this article right here. This was reported by our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. Heartbreaking. 34-year-old Florida woman accused of unaliving her boyfriend's 9-year-old daughter by reportedly having their 103-pound Rottweiler attack her. I'm fixing to unalive her. Trigger warning, fair use. Let me go ahead and read the comments before we get into the hot topics. We have, hello. We have Miss Barbara here. Hi, Queen. Hello, how are you? All right. Now, let's see. All right, I'm going to play this article and you all let me know what you think.
Jamarius Sessions was found dead back in June in Montverde. Fox 35 News first brought you the story then as deputies were trying to figure out how she died. And tonight, they say they have some tragic answers.
Deputies say this woman beat the little girl and instructed her dog to attack her. Fox 35's Marie Edinger joins us live now. So, Marie, this woman was the girlfriend of the young girl's dad?
That's exactly right. Deputies are calling this the worst case of abuse they have ever seen in Lake County. Jamarius Sessions had two grandmothers who she'd stayed with in the past, and we spoke exclusively with both of them today.
That's a baby. That's a baby. A beautiful little girl not gone.
Of a 9-year-old baby. 9.
9-year-old Jamarius Sessions was found dead in June. Now we know she was tortured and brutally beaten, allegedly by her father's girlfriend, Tashelle Martin.
This is the worst case of aggravated child abuse we've ever seen.
Martin's arrest affidavit says while her other kids watched, she sicked her 103-pound Rottweiler on Jamaria, then kicked and beat her.
There was no reason to hurt my granddaughter.
The home was full of security cameras, which deputies say caught the attacks on video. In one video, Martin is heard saying, "I'm fixing to kill her," according to the affidavit.
The world needs to know evil when they see it, so her picture needs to be everywhere. If I had the money, I would invest in a billboard in every state. So
the sheriff's office says that was far from the first instance of abuse. Martin is accused of beating her as a form of punishment and making her run with her hands above her head.
I don't have the words to describe it. It's unimaginable and completely inhumane.
So where was Jamaria's father? The sheriff's office says he left the home because he and Martin were fighting. His daughters have lived with each of their grandmothers in the past. Both told me today they want custody of the children. And now they want maximum punishment for the woman accused of killing their granddaughter.
You gotta explain to her sister what happened to her sister. She's not gonna understand that. She's only 6 years old.
the justice that she deserves is not what the state does.
No one else has been charged in this case, though the Lake County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is active and ongoing. Martin is being held on no bond. Live in Lake County, Marie Edinger, Fox 35 News.
Jamarius.
All right, so what are y'all thoughts on this? What are your thoughts, honey? Okay, we are back. Thank you. So, what are y'all thoughts on that? Um, Jamaria's father, I feel like he dropped the ball. You know, I feel like he dropped the ball. Yeah, he dropped the ball on this one. They said that he left her with this woman after a fight. I'm not going to leave my child in the home. I don't know, like, okay, so I don't know, looking at it from his point of view, it looks like he was trying to get away from her. And she's the aggressor. And then you have camera footage that shows proof. They said that this wasn't the first time that this happened. This wasn't the first time that this allegedly happened with her being aggressive with his daughter, and the it seems like DV in the house. So not only was the parents they were in situation, it triggered down from okay, we're into it to now the children are being assaulted as well. And there's no way, like, you just can't tell me that um that he was willing to just like ride with that whole situation. You know, like if this woman is being aggressive and she's then put hands on your children once before, why would you be willing to take that risk going forward? This is her behavior. She's angry. When she gets angry, she loses control. Like nobody can tell her something. Do you think I want a person like that around my kids? That's unhinged, that's unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get. Are you kidding me? Cameras are not. Cameras are not. Before I called the police, somebody would have met her at that house before 911 got there. And I'm just going to be honest. This is a 9-year-old girl lost her life because of her dad's bad decisions, bad choices when it comes to dating. You know, accepting and tolerating behavior that now cost him his child. Let's get into it. Say it ain't so says, good morning, Queen Tulsa in chat. Grand rising to you. How are you? But let's talk about it. Now y'all want custody. Now y'all want to speak up. Y'all know that woman was a problem. That woman was a problem a long while ago. Y'all just didn't learn that this woman was a problem yesterday. Now, this would be the time, and I might get some backlash on this, but this would be the time for you to call DHS. If you know that this woman is abusive and you didn't try to talk to this man and you family and you're willing to step up and say, hey, something over ain't going right, but I'm willing to take on my niece or my nephew or my relative until we get it all situated out. But there are some concerns with his new girlfriend. You know, some people may not agree with that, but I'm thinking about the benefit of the child. Really, who's protecting the child? If somebody was protecting her, she wouldn't be in glory right now. She would not be up in glory right now. Let me see. Y'all know, okay, so I'm messed up last time. I like to read the comments to see what the people are saying. All right, let's see what the people are saying. All right. So they said, hell with gasoline draws on. Somebody said sick bit. Get these jealous women away from y'all children. That little girl suffered from what I read in the caption. I don't trust the father either at this point. Sickening is what this is. Absolutely. And see, I was thinking the same thing. I don't trust the father either because you can't tell me that there wasn't any signs. Sorry, you all. I just had a text from the family, our group chat. Okay, so it says give her the same treatment with no Rottweilers. That part right there. I mean, for you to sit up there and sick a dog on a child, it's like no shade, y'all, but this woman looks disturbed. She looks disturbed. Someone says the little girl's mother passed away a few years ago and ended up living with their grandmother with her little sister. The dad got out of jail and basically took them away from school one day without grandma's knowledge or permission, never gave them back, and allowed the girlfriend to abuse her. Rest in peace, baby girl. Wow. So, pretty much, the little girl was better off in grandma's care. Someone says, all the adults fail her in this situation. If either of you were loving grandmothers, you would have took her in to stay with you. Why leave her with a complete stranger? And but y'all have to understand this. Somebody said that her mother passed away. So if he's the last living parent, you can't go over there and tell that man, what to do and how to do and take his child away from him if it's on paper. Now you would catch a charge. You would catch a charge for kidnap because it's not your child. Say so says you are correct, Tulsa, but these kids are bad as heck these days. Not justifying it, just adding that. Yeah, but you know what? Can we blame them when they're in a situation like that at a young age? You done lost your mama. I mean, that's trauma right there. And then people saying, "Oh, well, we gonna be here for you," and then it's not shown. Let's talk about that because that's what the Braxtons are going through right now. That's what the Braxtons are going through right now, and we gonna get on them a little bit later. Associate Minister and Reserve Deacon Mr. Terry Jones says, "Hello, Queen Tulsa, Grand Rising. Hello, and Grand Rising to you." Yes. Said Ain't So says, this is heartbreaking for all involved. It is. It is. Associate Minister Reserve Deacon Mr. Terry Jones says, we must remember, don't talk about it. Be about it. That's right. Said Ain't So says, I agree, Tulsa. I typed my prior comment before realizing she had lost her mother. Uh-huh. And, you know, daddy comes. You think daddy about to say today, child, daddy make your life a miserable living hell. You know. Okay, so let's get into this next story right here. Shout out to our friends over at Hollywood Unlocked. And this is a call-in show, so if you all want to call in, I'll let you all know when to call in. But let me go ahead and get that line ready. All right, so the call-in number is ready when we are going to take those call-ins. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. So this story really stuck out to me. It says, shaking my head, Florida mayor arrested for DUI after allegedly blowing twice the legal limit. The mayor of Southwest Florida City learned the hard way that no one is above the law, not even her. Naples Mayor Teresa Hitman was arrested last week on charges of driving under the influence, DUI. According to CBS News, the police were summoned to the scene by a couple who claimed that Heatman had allegedly driven over their mailbox. They recounted that she had followed them to their home, stopped her vehicle on the grass in front of their residence, and appeared to be inebriated. Upon the arrival of law enforcement, Heatman reportedly informed the officers that the couple had cut her off in traffic. However, her narrative seemed questionable due to observable signs of intoxication. Notably, when the officer addressed her as Mayor, Heatman insisted, "No, don't call me mayor. I am Teresa Heatman right now. I am not the mayor," despite her assertion that she had only consumed one glass of wine. She had failed a sobriety test, which ultimately led to her arrest. Child, let's get into these comments. Someone says there's way more important ish going on, but I guess we needed to know. Yeah, we needed to know because these are people that are in office, sweetheart. Okay? Let's wake it up. These are the people that supposed to be promoting the law, not breaking it. Okay? She doesn't get a pass. And it seems like you are trying to give her a pass. Someone says Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club is going to have a field day with this. These be the same judges on the bench watching DUI drivers being sentenced to years in prison for drinking and driving, and the blanks be doing the same thing. And they blanks be doing the same thing. Child, whole state ghetto. You know her drinks are on the house. Child, the little smirk is diabolical. Seems like she depressed because how you a mayor and you let yourself go like that twice in legal minute. That's nasty work, someone says. What do y'all think about it? Do y'all think she gets a pass? You know? You Sere so says she gonna pay her fines from the city's petty cash. Child, get into it like nobody's business. Okay. Listen here. Allegedly. Allegedly, okay? He said that is not even going to come from her own pocket. Absolutely. And it's a shame. It's a shame, but you know, get into it. Well, speaking of pockets, and listen here, let's talk about this black billionaire from Jamaica. Okay. And shout out to our family and friends and royals that watched the show over in Jamaica. Okay, from humble beginnings to billionaire. Meet Jamaica's richest woman, Dr. Trisha Bailey. Okay, get into it. Okay, so how y'all felt about the last story? Said Ain't So says, no, she shouldn't get no pass. Absolutely, she wasn't going to get one anyway. That's why we moved on to the next story. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this story, and we'll continue our commentary.
Yes, yes. She has extremely rural town. Been dubbed Jamaica's richest woman. Okay, talk about being a boss. Please welcome Dr. Trisha Bailey. So I'm gonna start off with Dr. Bailey because you worked hard and you earned it. Can you tell us about the work that you do?
So I own, my main brand is Bailey's Medical Equipment and Supplies, and I also have pharmacies and real estate development.
Oh, wow. All right. Now, when I hear the word billionaire, I just go, wow. But, you know, looking at you and us talking backstage, you come from very humble beginnings, huh?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about it.
So I grew up in Woodland, St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, extreme.
Yes, yes. She has.
Where we walk, we walk 3.5 miles to school each way.
Yes.
My grandmother, my dear grandmother, she used to walk 25 miles every Thursday. She loaded donkey with all the vegetables and things that she farmed, walk 25 miles to the market, and then she would work 8 hours until sell the products and then walk back home 25 miles. So I watch her go through this amazing journey. And the way that we had no electricity, no running water, we carried water in our heads. And so we had no TV. So I was a super, super happy child.
Oh, because you didn't even know that there was.
I didn't know I was poor.
Love. Yeah, you know you were poor. Oh my goodness. You know, you were
decided at that time I did not want to live anymore. And I was in a coma for 8 days. I was in California at the time, and I was transitioning from California after the coma, and my larynx was clipped. I did not have ambulation, so I was wheelchair bound. I got on the aircraft, and then there was a layover in Atlanta. They placed me in a corner, and for 2.5 hours, I tried to wave. I tried to get someone to assist me, and I cried. And at that time, I realized that the disabled was invisible to the world.
Yeah.
A young lady later on came and helped me. And that's when I started Bailey's Medical Equipment, because I never want another person to feel the way that I did.
Wow, Trisha.
All right, what a way to give back. Listen here, you all. Just Google her up. Actually, we are going to pull her up. Dr. Trisha Bailey. I'm going to Google her up, and I am going to put her link in the chat. And I want y'all to do your research on her and let her be an inspiration for you. You know? Yeah, let her be an inspiration for you. We're always looking for inspiration around here, you know? And what an inspiring story. I'd only heard just a little bit. And, oh, excuse me. I only heard a little bit, but I'm super excited to learn more. You all give me 1 second. I was able to I was able to find her link. To our Instagram. And actually, I'll All right, and we are back. What are your thoughts on this story? And are you going to go over and follow Dr. Trisha Bailey? And actually, I'm going to pull up her Instagram right quick so you all can kind of get an idea, maybe screenshot it, or the people that are in the replay, you can get a visual. So it says, creating my own yes. So that's Dr. Trisha Bailey's Instagram. This is what it looks like. Yep, and that's her right there. And that was the interview that we just saw. I love this photo. Look at this. Is that her husband? The Lord God made a woman from the rib. He brought her to the man at last. The man explained, this one is bone from my bone and flesh from my flesh. She will be called woman because she was taken from man. Genesis 2:22-23. I love it. Oh, I love it. Yes. She has fun taste. Yes. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and drop her down and let's get back to the topics. All right, so our next story we're gonna cover is great. Sorry about that. Thank you all for being with us, sister, today. Let's get into this, child. So, y'all know T.I.'s son, King, he, got the mating and child. Now he got a baby. Y'all know how it goes. So it says all King's allegedly baby mama pops out with her baby bump. Shout out to our friends over at the neighborhood Tauwk. Child, listen to what T.I. had.
I became a father. So I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one. He just became a father. So I got 2 grandchildren.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about that child? Congrats, T.I. reveals his son King is expecting his first child. King is about to have a son. I will raise this child to torture you the way you tortured me. What do y'all think about that? All right, we have Ariel Summers in the building. Says, hey, Queen Tulsa. Me and Hustle are glad to be a part of Coffee Talk. Yes, thank you for being here. I kind of think that, words are powerful. And why would you speak that over your grandson? Like, why wouldn't you break the generational curse? It seems like you want to keep it going. I don't know. I'm not feeling that whole thing. Oh my goodness. Today so says T.I.'s honey and Mima gonna be raising that baby. Absolutely. Listen here. He's gonna drop him off at grandma's house like they dropped him off at his. Okay? Listen here. He said he didn't really care about being at home. He wanted to be at his grandma's house. So that says a lot. I mean, and maybe King, I don't know. I don't know, child. It's kind of up in the air, right? But you know how it was the parents be talking all that mess, and then when the baby come around, then they start loving on it. But you know, what will Ti be teaching the baby? You know, is he gonna be like the next rapper? Does he want to keep that rap legacy going? You know, is he gonna teach him how to get on to Crime Stoppers and get a deal? I mean, I don't know. I'm just a little curious. Just a little curious. And thank God it's a boy because we don't want to hear him talking about, you know, we don't want to see him put another child, another girl through what he put Deja through. Oh, she's pretty keen. Carlissa says, that's gonna be a pretty baby. My granny said when two people make a baby, it comes out. When two people make a baby, it comes out beautiful. It's giving I hit the lotto. That's Nana Liffy Lil Fine at. That's Nene Lil Fine at. Gorgeous chocolate queen. Someone says, I hope her jeans can fight. He thought he knew what he was doing, but she knew exactly what she was doing. Okay. She finna get that family hell. Yeah. I wonder do people realize that T.I. and Tiny money ain't King's money? Because that man is a whole grown man. She just want a rich baby daddy, and he just a son. She said legacy. I don't care who his parents is. That boy could not have laid on me. Oh my goodness. These comments are they tearing him up? Let me get into this, read it some more. Okay, now why she let garlic not impregnate her? Oh, child. Someone said, I hope her jeans can fight. Now I gotta log off for 48 business hours. That particular part. How old is she? They are so funny on here. Okay, so that's the story for that. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all feel like Ti is um right for saying what he said um about that situation? We'll get into this, y'all. Oh wow. Gamecocks star Ashlyn Watkins reportedly arrested and charged with kidnapping and assault following an incident in the university dorms. Victim claims she allegedly grabbed her head and forced her to walk down a hallway against her will. Shout out to the neighborhood talk. Um, Let me read the comments and we can get into this story. Said Ain't So says King gonna hopefully realize what his parents been trying to teach him though. He wants to be a gangster so bad. And you know what? That's how it has to happen. Sometimes that just has to happen. You could tell your child, you could, you know, run it down. But when they've seen things and experienced things and, you know, parent get in trouble, oh, he could just buy his way out. And so when a child sees that, they become immune to like, okay, well, shit, I can just buy my way out of everything. And that's why it's so important for us to be mindful of what we are teaching our kids. What's acceptable and what's not, you know? Um, It's a lot, you know, because nobody's given a guide or a pamphlet or a handbook on parenting, right? So we can just continue to pray for them. But let's get into the story right here. Thank you for sounding off. Say it ain't so.
Morning, Gamecock women's basketball star Ashlyn Watkins was arrested yesterday morning in Columbia. USC police charged the national champion with assault and battery in the first degree, as well as kidnapping. The incident happened at the campus dorms on Lincoln Street. The warrants say Watkins, quote, forcibly grabbed the victim by her face, pulling her arms and pushing her. The warrants go on to accuse Watkins of controlling the victim's movements while preventing her from leaving. Officers say the victim eventually got away and pulled a fire alarm. Police say this was all caught on surveillance video. Watkins was granted a $30,000 bond with conditions. A USC spokesperson said, quote, we are aware of this situation and are continuing to gather more information. Stories this morning, Gamecock women's basketball star Ashlyn Watkins was arrested yesterday morning in.
Okay, so Miss Watkins decided, allegedly, she was arrested, right? With assault and battery and first-degree kidnapping. Oh, child, let's get into these comments. Keep your hands off, folks. Someone says, would have been safer with a bear. Someone else says, risking your career at a top-ranking school because you can't control your emotions is crazy. Dawn, not having that. Child, all she did was have a fight with her girlfriend. But still, it's not just a fight. Stop trying to minimalize it. You have a big responsibility. At this point, you're a walking billboard for the school, right? Whether if you want to acknowledge it or not. Associate Minister, Reserve Deacon Mr. Terry Jones says, we must remember some people are like bowels, toilets, and sewers, full of mess. We must remember the greatest handbook and guide in 018. Okay? Let's get into it. I think what someone said in the comments, keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. You can't make, adults don't like to be told what to do. Let's start there. Adults don't like to be told what to do. But in this next story, it's the other way around. Some people in authority don't like to be told what to do, and they like to make their own rules. Trigger warning. Enough is enough. White Ohio police officer under fire for flying karate kick to black man's head while he was kneeling. Trigger warning. Let me go ahead.
Over this jaw-dropping video of an Ohio police officer kicking a kneeling man who appeared to be complying with their orders.
Oh! That cop still got out the car, ran to him, and drop-kicked him. Who does that? If I were to do that to you or anybody else, I'd be in jail.
Members of the public heated at a city council meeting, calling out what they say is a pattern of bad behavior by Canton police, including the recent death of Frank Tyson in their custody. Tyson was arrested after police say he ran from the scene of a car crash in April. Body camera video capturing an officer kneeling on his back while Tyson tells officers, "I can't breathe."
I can't breathe.
Tyson later seen motionless and unresponsive on the floor while still in handcuffs. The county coroner ruling his death a homicide. The two officers involved remain on paid administrative leave as the Ohio Attorney General reviews the case.
It's really hard to imagine that I represent 6 men, 3 dead and 3 living since 2022, January 1, that have been subjected to force, dog bite attacks, and in this case, getting kicked in the head.
Attorney Bobby DiCello represents both Tyson's family and 21-year-old Jamir McElroy, the man seen kicked on camera. Police say he was part of a group reportedly arguing at this apartment complex over the weekend. Police say 2 pistols were recovered at the scene, and a backpack containing marijuana, cash, and scales were found in a nearby vehicle. McElroy was charged with resisting arrest following the incident. His lawyer says he was not part of the group police were called to investigate and that he did not resist.
The video demonstrates unequivocally that he's on his knees, his hands are in the air, and then he's kicked in the head.
DiCello says his client, who was hospitalized, is still dealing with the aftermath.
Jamir is traumatized. He received a concussion from what happened. He has swelling in his neck muscles and into his face, up to the jaw area.
The Canton police chief saying in a statement, officers ordered the suspects to the ground and they appeared to be complying when Officer Brandon Momarov kicked Jamir McElroy in the chest, adding, officers using force outside the parameters of our training, policy, and principles will be held accountable.
I think it's a failure of leadership on every level. The leadership of the city needs to do something about it. They need to take swift and decisive action. They absolutely must terminate that officer.
Tonight, outrage over this jaw-dropping.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Like I said, trigger warning. And this is very much so unacceptable. It should have been an immediate fire without pay. It should be consequences, repercussions. He should be in handcuffs. He should be going down there. You are there to serve and protect. And then for this gentleman to lose his life, the man said he couldn't breathe. And you decided to continue to kneel on him. This is reason why some people have no faith in law enforcement. Because you have some individuals that want to take the position overboard, using excessive force, taking their anger out. I tell people all the time, cops are normal people. Some of them are married. They have the same issues as you, or I'm not even going to say issues, daily life struggles, daily life shortcomings, or, things of that nature, right? They get upset, they get mad, they're human, to say the least. All right, so let's go ahead and get into these comments because they went in. All right, hold on. All right, real Donald. Oh, hold on, what happened? Carlissa says, real Donald Trump, are you freaking serious? No one is voting for this thug behavior. He said, and you should be ashamed of them and yourself. But Trump say they deserve immunity. Him saying that says all I need to know about who he is. Black peoples of every walk of life, we got to stick together because it's clearly U.S. against them. The black officer that did nothing, shame on you, N-word. I felt that kick through this video. Can I file a lawsuit? DC police unalive a sleeping man in McDonald's drive-thru yesterday morning, firing a total of 17 shots. Justice for Justin Robinson. No. What? Hold on, let me see. Let me look up this story. Okay, so DC. Wait, let me see. Oh, no. It says police identified armed man fatally powed by DC officers after McDonald's crash. Okay. So I think we got to take a look into that. Um, Someone says should be fired and charged. Exactly, that's what I said. This disturbed the F out of me. Absolutely. This why I never feel bad when a cop is unalived. Don't show outrage if planning on voting Trump because this will happen at higher rates once they are given blanket immunity. Imagine what's not making the news and being recorded. Get into that. Imagine what will happen once they get immunity. Dear Blacks voted for Trump. He wants these racist cops to have immunity and the freedom to continue to do this. Oh, I forgot. Saving tax dollars is worth more than lives of your race. Sellouts. This effed up. It's time to stop fearing them and fight back. Trump wants to grant full immunity. This officer and all the officers involved should not only be terminated but receive massive jail time for a hate crime. That's what it was. Hold them accountable for what's happening nationwide. Get into that. Now that was a response. That was a response. Oh my goodness. Ariel Summers says even J.S. Vance once felt that police was unfair to Black people before he joined Trump. See? All right. Yes. Okay, I think we have time for one more story. I'm going to open up the call-in lines. I'll drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. We have one more story. We're going to open up the phone lines. And then after that, we'll conclude this live broadcast. However, we will be back. Okay? So we will be back for another show. 1 second. There was another story that I wanted to cover. And it was this one. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. Y'all get into this. Now pull in close. Former hero cop who's facing charges for allegedly raping his biological daughter and SAing his adopted daughters. It is out on bail while his ex-wife is locked up for refusing court mandated reunification therapy. Whew. Neighbors, this is insane. A retired Colorado officer previously deemed a hero for his efforts in the 2012 Aurora movie theater unaliving is facing 6 criminal charges for raping his biological daughter when she was 6 and abusing his other kids. Meanwhile, his ex-wife has been sent to jail for refusing therapy meant to reunify the family. Michael Hawkins, 55, was hit with 6 felony counts for SAing a child along with a misdemeanor for child abuse, which allegedly took place from 2002 to 2021. Michael is also accused of the M word, his 2 stepdaughters, from his ex-wife and nearly drowning one of their sons by holding him underwater until he was unconscious in 2018. The son believed that he was being punished for catching his father emming one of his sisters. According to the New York Post, Rachel Pickrell Hawkins, the ex-wife, stays in a DV shelter and currently has custody of their 2 sons, who are now 13 and 10. Michael has been fighting to get custody of the boys through the court using reunification therapy ordered by a judge. Oddly, the intent of the therapy is to repair the relationship between the boys and their dad, but Rachel believes it's traumatizing the kids. She refers to the therapy as nothing but manipulation, psychological abuse, and coercion and gaslighting. After standing up against the sessions, a judge ruled that Rachel was interfering and sentenced her to 7 weekends in jail. During this time, Michael was released after posting bail for $50,000. He's made it clear that he denies all accusations, including those of SA, his adopted daughters. The legal process will provide him with the opportunity to prevent additional information related to these allegations in the future, attorney Christopher Estall said. Child, now this is my thing. Her not wanting to go or her not wanting to put the children through this, how can you blame her? She's a mother. She's a mother first before anything. And if I feel like something is going to traumatize my kids or I feel like it's coercion, I mean, the stuff just recently happened. This is still fresh on their heads. Now, individual therapy without their father, yes, I agree with that. But just totally isolating them from therapy, no, I don't agree with that. Even if it's a therapy with just the mother and the boys, right? Just so she could be there as a safety blanket, you know? And when they have a moment, they have a hand that they can grab that they feel comfortable with, you know? So when you talk about therapy and things like that, I mean, they are younger. So their brains and their minds can't really process the way that their mother's is because she's an adult. So being insensitive to the children, I think is just narcissistic behavior. And if you feel otherwise, then maybe that shoe fits you. But my thing is that mother was simply protecting her children. Now, my thing is go through with what's going on, but I would make sure I'm involved and in the room. So, you know, so let's get into some of these comments. We did have the phone line open. We didn't get any calls yet. So all about the tea says, what? Someone else says, I don't blame the mom. I would never reunite my child with their offender. Lock me up, judge. Someone says, sounds like he has connections with the court. He blanks multiple kids and is out on bail is just sick. Someone says Trump wants to give police full immunity. Remember, folks, someone says, how do we get her out of jail? This is ridiculous. Okay. How can the judge order victims to have therapy with their abuser? Parent or not all rights to his children were lost when he violated them. Okay, someone says, but the lady who stole school chicken gets sentenced to 9 years. Let's talk about it. Wow, this is sick. Investigate the judge because something's definitely not right. What type of blank that judge on? Child, the entire justice system is a joke. Of course, the Caucasian male police officer is free while the woman sits in prison. The judge might be a predator, child. We don't know. All of them are in power. That's the problem. He's terrorizing that lady. The justice system is crazy for this one. Let's see here. I don't know. Prayers to the survivors, the victims. Let's see. Let's get into these comments. All right, Ariel Summers says, this sounds like this 2025 BS that women will be faced with far worse. Wow. I mean, it does, doesn't it? I mean, but when we talk about in that department, childies talk about their history. Because he white. So you believe that it's white privilege. Hope Life 2188. All right. So let's see here. Thank you all so much. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and make sure you bring a friend, tell a friend next time. Listen here. I'm so excited to be here. We are back. We are off of hiatus. And I just want to say, how you doing? Listen here, I've got to drop you off in Queen City. Until next time, so long.